Welcome to the Travel Table. I'm Gemma and this is Matt, and we are from Winged Boots store in Shenfield. Tonight is our very first episode, and in fact, Matt's going to tell us a little bit more about how the idea came about.
Yeah, absolutely. So following the launch of our successful luxury travel podcast last year, we want to produce another show all around luxury travel and to include our local Shenfield partners. What goes better with travel than food and wine?
Absolutely. Yeah, and that was a thing that we felt quite strongly about, mainly because we are quite big foodies and into wine. So tonight, to guide us through the wine, we have got John. So John, please tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Thanks, Matt. Thanks, Gemma. So I'm John. I'm from Licorice, which obviously the camera can't see, but it's across the road there. It's a kind of like an off license in the old school wording, but to be honest, what are we? We're a wine shop. We're a walk-in 50-strong fromagerie. We're a Friday, Saturday night, oh my goodness, 40, 50 people turnover venue. So what are we? We're technically in the industry a hybrid. We're the combination of bringing experiences together. And I like, the link between our two businesses can, resound more. It's about gaining experiences in life. And so what we deal with is like fantastic small producers, estate grown wines. We don't deal with like the bulk, wholesale side. Nothing wrong with that. I'll drink anything. But the reality is we deal with like smaller producers, and then we got artisan bespoke cheeses, meats, all that kind of stuff that goes down. And it's one of these things that it's worked really well. Shenfield offers a huge base of support. It's your typical, you could say, destination town in England. You got them all scattered around where people will support the town, and our support here is immense. It's but not only for us, for yourselves, but for everyone else. I mean, that's what.
Yeah, we really felt that actually since opening.
And we've both collaborated on little speeches up at different things, and that is what grows the business. It's about the people and gaining something where they come in and go, oh my goodness, what a great night. It was a destination, and it's an experience. So I've been in the industry. I failed to admit honestly what it is, but it's over 2 decades. Drank far too much wine, but kind of on the process, I still love, and I think this is the final point, I love the story behind a bottle of wine, right? Like everything we drink isn't just like something off the shelf. It's about someone who's put their honest, labor into the soil and are passionate about something, and then it's produced back. And that's really what puts us different, you could say, from everyone else, is telling a story. Which again is like kind of
another link.
That's travel, isn't it? You come back, and what's the first thing you do? You tell a story. So the two kind of, you could say, come together.
Yeah, thanks, John. Absolutely. And we've also got a couple of guests joining us tonight on the sofa. So first up, we have Liisa from Kerzner. So if you wanted to give us a little bit of an introduction about yourself.
Perfect. Thank you for having me. So born and bred in South Africa, in the wine bits. So it's part of my DNA. So I think I can get the right place tonight. I work for Kerzner International, and Kerzner was actually founded in South Africa as well. So Saul Kerzner came up with the idea for Atlantis and One&Only, and over the years we've grown to launch new brands such as Syro and Rare Finds. And we've had a very special relationship, I think, over the years with Winged Boots, where we've kind of grown together through various events and various beautiful guest experiences. So it's really nice to be here and excited for a little bit of wine.
Patience.
No, thanks for joining us. And a face that many of you will be familiar with is Winged Boots Manager Director David.
Yeah, great to be here. First travel table. Have I got that right?
First time.
Table travel. I don't want to get it wrong. But actually, I know John in a previous life because he provided a very good delivery service during COVID when he was dropping off cases of rosé, keeping me going throughout COVID. So
very important.
Yeah, it's great to be here. And just to touch on what John said about Licorice, they offer very much it's not just about buying the product, it's the experience as well, which is very much what we are about in Winged Boots as well. And, we're here to talk about the wine. And like you say, every great bottle of wine tells a story. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to build experiences for our customers so they can come back and really, just live and breathe those stories really for a lifetime. That's why we're here. So, yeah, very happy to be here. Yeah, let's get going.
Yeah, thank you. So the destination spotlight for today's episode is South Africa, somewhere where we all absolutely love. The format of the evening is going to be, we're going to journey through 3 different areas of South Africa, accompanied by 3 different South African wines. And of course, I think when you're talking about South Africa, you absolutely cannot miss talking about Cape Town. And that is where we start our journey this evening. So Cape Town is a city that you can be as, you can take at whatever pace you want. If you want to be quite busy, you can be doing helicopter rides, you can be doing historical tours, walking tours, Table Mountain. But also, if you want to have something a little bit more chilled and a slower pace, it's perfect for just literally grabbing a wine, sitting by the waterside and taking it all in. Yeah. Exactly, yeah. So that is going to be how we start this evening. So, John, please introduce our first wine.
Right. Everyone, left glass. Left glass.
Okay.
I'll pour a little.
Yes.
I'll pour a little snippet myself, just to be on the safe side. I'll pop this bottle here. Yeah. I think almost rather than saying, I will say something about the wine. I think people are split into 2 camps, right? You land in a destination. You kind of got 2 choices. I'm not a great person for just say sitting. I tend to have to do things. So you land in Cape Town, and for the record. Hint to my suppliers. I haven't been to Cape Town yet.
Get that plug in.
Yeah. Please take a pause for that moment. But when you come to any destination, you got 1 or 2. So you can easily go, tourist destination 1, tourist destination number 2. Top 10, boom, 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 boom. I love nothing more than arriving somewhere and just going out for a wander, finding the first place that really grasps my eye, like sit down and just ordering a glass of wine, a glass of bubbles, whatever it happens to be, and just soaking it in. Like you ever arrive somewhere and you just kind of like sit and just almost pause. You got off the plane, maybe your time zone's out, and you just kind of sit there and you're going, oh my goodness, I'm here. I'm finally here. And South Africa is like super high on my list. We were talking about this, and I think if I ever arrive, that's exactly what I'll do. I'll sit there and just kind of go, boom, I'm landed. So if we're going to go Constantia, and we've landed in Cape Town, Constantia is kind of where you're going to go. It's the closest place to Cape Town, and it's also the most historic. I mean, Group Constantia goes back to 1685. This is the starting point. It's a great way to start this talk. Is where are we starting? We're starting with probably the starting point for wine in South Africa. And what we're tasting, they're famous in the region. It's famous a lot for a lot of Savions, a lot of Semillons. I wanted to show what's called a Cape blend. So South Africa is renowned for all their Bordeaux blends, right? Cab Merlot, Cab Franc, that's that blend. The Cape blend has to have a predominance of Pinotage in it. So this is a blend of Pinotage and then all your Bordeaux grapes. So yeah, it's a full-bodied wine. It's a historic estate. Lose the little stickers on that. I'm not a sticker person for labels. It's about the product and it's about the story behind it. And then obviously when you deal with their dessert wines, if you're a big Napoleon fan, it's what he shipped out to wherever he was.
The Vin de Constance.
Yeah, exactly. And it's one of the great wines of the world, not only just South Africa. So yeah, I mean, enjoy it for what it is. I'm not one for sip sniff thing. Whenever I do these talks, it's about enjoying a wine, not necessarily pulling out cranberries and raspberries. But this is a rich wine. It's full-bodied, smooth. And you're sitting in this cafe right now. You've actually landed in Cape Town, and I got a massive grin on my face. Because right now,
you've painted such a picture. It's perfect.
Yeah, my phone's off.
Can we drink it now?
Yeah. No,
chomping at the bit.
I've got approximately 20 more minutes of high detail wine knowledge to hit you down with. No. Please enjoy it, and let's start this off.
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah. Here's what it is. I mean, certain wines, obviously you need food with. Certain wines you want that. I can, I don't really want to admit this on camera, but because I'm on camera, I got to admit it. I can actually slump on a sofa and just enjoy this.
This is great.
But you think of South Africa, get some grilled meats going on, something like that. And even like when
the
you
Kruger,
land.
the exotic meats.
Yeah.
That's what you want.
That's a bit of
Oh,
a-
yeah.
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 Yeah, failure
Next
number
time we'll
one.
have a
tick.
barbecue, a braai.
A braai, yeah.
Mm.
Ostrich.
Yeah, what is the South African name for a barbecue
A
again?
braai.
Braai, yeah, that's it. Yeah, I've got a customer who's always like, we yap barbecue, and he's always talking about his braai, and I was trying to remember the name. Yeah.
And the difference is it's supposed to be with wood, not charcoal or with gas. But
Yeah.
you can't always get.
No.
No.
I shamefully moved to gas last year.
Very nice.
So as Gemma mentioned, and John, we're in Cape Town now. And I've been to Cape Town myself, and the image that immediately springs to my mind is Table Mountain and just how iconic that site is. So I'm going to come to you, Liisa, about the One and Only, because it is in the best location.
It really is. When John was mentioning you sit and you've just arrived, I just imagine you sitting at Vista Bar at One and Only Cape Town. You just see Table Mountain in front of you, having your glass of red, and enjoying the view. And that's kind of what it's all about. As a Cape Townian, we love Table Mountain. We've got an unhealthy obsession with the mountain. We love it. And the other things we love is wine and the beach. So on a weekend, you'll either find us in the winelands, sitting on a wine farm, just enjoying life, or hiking up Lion's Head or Table Mountain, or on the beach. That's kind of what Cape Town life is about. And when we selected the site for One and Only Cape Town, it was all about what is the best position, because you can be anywhere in the world and you can see an ocean view, but you're never going to see that beautiful vista of Table Mountain. And I mean, it's located in the waterfront. That's also another good spot to just people watch.
Just about to say.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it's the most visited tourist attraction other than Table Mountain in Cape Town. I'm not sure. But it's just got exceptional views, and we want our guests to experience it like Cape Townians would. So either you brave and you go hike up Table Mountain with the trainer, or you just do Lion's Head, which is about a 45
That's still a lot. That's still hard work.
Well, it's interesting you say, because I actually did my honeymoon there in 2017 and stayed at the One and Only. And as you say, the location is actually phenomenal. Like literally everything within walking distance, the V&A and the views of Table Mountain. The only issue with Table Mountain is obviously it's very weather dependent. So we weren't lucky enough to actually get up there, which was a real shame. Yeah, it was just bad timing, unfortunately. We were only in town for 5 days. But the location of that property is just, and it's a great base to explore all of that area of South Africa as well, like Stellenbosch and obviously Cape Point and stuff like that, which we did when we were there. So yeah.
And you can see when the weather comes over, like when tablecloth goes over the mountain, then you know you're not going to make it up today. It's a bit too windy and too misty, but we'll
maybe we'll come back.
Yeah. But if you weren't able to visit Table Mountain or go to the top of Table Mountain, did you do much else whilst you were there?
There is so much to do. I mean, we were very lucky. We did a day trip out to Stellenbosch, and it was quite funny actually, because when the driver turned up to pick us up, we said, how long's the drive going to be? And the driver said, I don't know, 45. And my wife looked at me and said, there is no way I'm getting in a car for 1 hour and 45 minutes. And she went, no, it's either 45 minutes to an hour. But anyway, I had to cajole her into the car, and we set out, and we did a couple of estates. So the plan was to do 3 different wine estates, try the wines, and we'd had a lunch booked at a place called Delair Graph Estate, and then we moved on to Delair, and we had lunch, and obviously we were well on our way by that stage, so it was quite an entertaining lunch. They've got the sales pitch done to a T, because obviously you're not required to buy wine, but they're very easy in offering you to purchase at the end of the wine tasting. And when I returned 2 weeks later, I opened up my door, and to my amazement, there was like 20 cases of wine that I'd apparently ordered and paid for.
You remember ordering.
Which obviously I didn't remember ordering, but we had a good Christmas anyway. But that was, there's so much to do. That's what I'm saying, and it's all within a drive, not too far, an hour. So on another day, we hired a car. We were very fortunate actually when we landed into Joburg. The way it works, I know we're going to come on to this, but when you fly out to the Kruger, when you fly into the main international airport, they come and meet you and take you around to a smaller airport where they put you in a lounge where you can get the smaller air hops out to the lodges. And we were very fortunate in that we were sat next to a chap who'd just been in South America for 3 months, who's a local. And he said, what are you doing? I said, I'm on honeymoon with my wife. And he said, what plans have you got while you're in Cape Town? I said, well, I'll be honest with you, I actually haven't got that many plans. We just thought we'd do it on the fly. And he said, well, you must do this. And he wrote us out a little plan of hiring a car and driving around the Cape, Boulders Beach and down to Cape Point. Yeah, and then back into Camps Bay, stopped at the bungalow for a cocktail, and then finished back up in Cape Town. And that was just so fortuitous meeting him and giving us that plan. So, yeah, I mean, it says a lot about the people of South Africa as well. You know, it's just, it's a great place.
I mean, I'm sure we can all agree that Cape Town is the best place to start in South Africa, and we've got to get you there, John.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is the key message tonight. Is that,
get you there.
You know, who's not been to this party at the moment? You know.
But to finish this off in Cape Town, did you want to tell us what this wine pairs well with food?
Group Constantia, like obviously I said it briefly, they also make really lovely white wines. And there's another estate there called Cape Point, which is renowned for the Sauvignon. You get a lot of the breezes coming off, like both False Bay and the ocean. So fresh wines with the Sauvignons and that, obviously, like I can suspect in South Africa, some freshly grilled fish, anything like that. And I think when you land, that's kind of you want something nice and light for lunch and dealing with it. The Group Constantia for me is simply, we were just chatting, like a little bit of grilled meat. You know, a separate destination. I remember arriving and simply getting a roll with like some like fresh cut ham in that, and just sitting there and just like, right, okay, got. You know, I don't want to get hangry, but you know, occasionally I kind of like that word comes out with me. Just get a little something into. So yeah, when you land, you really just kind of want a nice cut of like the meat. It could even just be cheeses and meats like we sometimes do, just picking away. That would pair beautifully. Equally, at the end, you could also go the other extreme. If you're having dinner and you're having a real fine cut of meat, doesn't overpower it. And that's my main point with all these things, is like when you have something really good, you've spent a bit of money, especially on your meal, you don't want the wine blown out of proportion.
Yeah.
That's got a beautiful balance, right? It's not like, you know, a headache material, but it's also just kind of got that like mellowness, elegance, depth, etc. It's perfect wine for me.
Lovely. So the next stop on our South African journey is the Winelands. So we're talking Constantia, Paarl, Franschhoek, Stellenbosch, some of the most well-known wine areas around the world, I would say. And as David mentioned, simply only 45 minutes to an hour. Probably felt a bit quicker on the way back when you were a bit puzzled.
If I remember at all. Who knows?
Exactly. And while still in the wine regions, there's a really good mixture of accommodation. So you can be staying somewhere quite small and boutique within walking distance of restaurants and the high street. Or if you want something a little bit more rural, you can stay on working farms or actual vineyard estates as well. So something to suit everyone and whatever you're kind of using that base in the winelands for. So, John, onto our wineland representing wine.
Yes, back to number 2. But quite obviously it's your middle glass. We're going to be pouring actually some bubbles from Simonsig. Simonsig were actually the original, it's called Cap Classique. Cap Classique is essentially champagne method. So it's not made like Prosecco. It's had the second fermentation in the tank. This is the original one. So it's kind of a nice little play in the sense that you're dealing with the original wine estate in South Africa. You're now dealing with the original estate that created champagne method bubbles. And in South Africa, in the wine scene, quite interestingly, compared to other countries, which we won't mention, South Africa has really landed all price points in all styles. At Licorice, I think it was last Christmas, at the premium end, or you want to call it your fine wines, that was the first section we sold out on. Interesting. It wasn't France, it wasn't Italy, it was South Africa. South African wine right now is regarded and accepted from everyday house wines right up to the premium wines, and they cover all categories, and Cap Classique is one of those categories. So Simonsig, starting with France, Milan, created this blend of like Chardonnay, Pinot Noir, and Pinot Meunier, which is your champagne grapes, aged 24 months. So it's kind of got that lovely kind of like balance of like richness, depth, but it's not. My little bias sometimes with bubbles is they can be almost too heavy, like too yeasty. For me, this is like everything I'd want. You know, if I'm on your little jaunt, as we call it, this is how I would start off. I would have like some bubbles, you know, and it gets you going. You're enjoying it. It's elegant, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, and you like, as you said, what was it, Delagraph you're at? Yeah. I mean, that's another estate I deal with. Haven't seen the views yet. Hint. Hints of the suppliers.
Yeah.
Haven't seen the view yet, but that, like, you can imagine yourself. You both just have arrived, and they've just poured you some bubbles, and you kind of like you know, ding glasses, and you're like, yeah, okay, we're here, yeah, and you soak in those views, and then the whole experience begins, isn't it? Right? You might have one estate, two estates. Viciously, 3 estates.
It's actually 4 if you include Del Air, but you know, who's counting?
And 4, and that leads to 20 cases at your door.
There you are.
But no, it is like that lovely kind of like portion of the thing.
At One&Only Cape Town, we have partnered with special wine farms for specific reasons to produce our own One&Only wine. Simonsig is our partner for our sparkling wine that we do.
Really?
So Luba, our sommelier, would go to Simonsig and he would be with the winemaker, say, okay, no, we wanted a little bit more pink this year, or this is the flavors that we want. This is kind of what we're going for. And one of the reasons why we did partner with them is because they were one of the founding members of the Stellenbosch wine route as well. Because all the wine farmers went over to France and they said, oh, wow, we also need to do maybe a few tastings on property. And they partnered together. So they would call it like a co-op. So a few of the historic wine farms, I think it was Simonsig, Spear, and like 2 others, partnered together. They put all their kind of profit of the year to build one wine farm in terms of the tasting room, the little bit more marketing, and then the next year they did the next one and the next one. And that's kind of how the wine route in Stellenbosch grew. And Simonsig was one of the first to kind of do that. And of course, they were the first to make the Cap Classique. So it's a very good choice. And you didn't even know this before.
No. You kidding? I knew all those facts.
I mean, you didn't know that we partner with them to make our sparkling. The facts, of course.
So you mentioned your wine sommelier in One&Only, and earlier we was chatting and you mentioned how they WhatsApp. So if you
Luba doesn't
really nice.
email. He's a really special individual. So he is a very well-known, he was the Young Sommelier of the Year. He's won a few awards, but he's just a really, and I don't know if you met him when you were there, because he might have just started.
No,
but he's
don't think so.
Really very warm, very welcome individual. And he's got a very special relationship with all the wine farmers. So he's got them all on WhatsApp. And so many times we've had sales trips and I'm like, Luba, we need to email these wine farms to get wine. And he's like, I don't do the computer, I do WhatsApp. And that's how we also kind of build our wine list at the resort. So he puts wines on the wine list that he's got a personal relationship with, so that when he phones up the owner of the Lima wines, then he can tell Thomas Webb, I've got David Ox coming, you need to look after him. He WhatsApps him, he puts you on the back of the Jeep, takes you out to the vineyard, show you all the nooks and crannies that you wouldn't normally see. And that's kind of what it's about. And his passion for wine also inspired us to. So South Africa is the only wine region in the world that know exactly when they harvested their first grapes. The 2nd of February, I think it was 1650. I'm not sure. And every year we now celebrate the wine birthday at One&Only Cape Town. So if you plan your visit next time, especially
2nd of Feb.
Next time, and your first, the 2nd of February, you need to come for the wine birthday.
Yes, absolutely, and not only that, but I'll absolutely befriend this person, because I completely do not email. If I ever lost WhatsApp off this phone, I would just crawl into a corner and cry.
Hey, basically, I'll let you know next visit to the UK. We'll bring them over here. We'll have a wine.
Well, the irony is, all the Wing Boots customers want to contact us on WhatsApp, but email has gone out the window. All the traditional methods of, talking to your customers, it's all about WhatsApp now. It's crazy.
Thank you. That kind of like helps me with the age thing. That's good.
Brilliant. Thank you. And John, what food would you pair with this wine?
honestly, it falls into two categories. Category number one is exactly what Gemma and me did. Just ding a glass and just enjoy it for the occasion, looking at it, some fantastic view. Saying that, you could also bring it in with any form of canapes. Like if you can imagine when you're arriving in, any of these places and you just say, right, we just want like this, and this as a little starter, a little fish bite, a little tiny bit of like cheese, anything along those lines. Yeah, little picky bits, and you're enjoying it before your main. That would work. But you could actually because it's got enough like backbone and yeastiness too, especially with the Chardonnay, that you could actually pair it up with a nice piece of fish, and you're not gonna like overpower the taste of either one. That's the key thing. I've always said I've said it with the first wine, is like wine should just kind of bring the whole experience together. If you're tasting a wine and then you don't taste your food, you've messed up. And conversely, if the wine doesn't exist, same premise. It should just kind of sit in the background and like be a beautiful complement to the whole situation. Bring a smile to your face, which it generally does with me.
Yeah.
Definitely. So the final stop on our South African journey this evening is a safari. South Africa has so many different incredible places to do a safari. For example, Eastern Cape, Kruger, and some of the surrounding reserves, Madikwe as well. And one of the highlights on a safari, certainly for us, if you listen to the Africa episode, that's a little plug there for the Luxury Travel Podcast. You will hear how much we enjoy a sundowner on a safari. So for those of you who don't know what one is, it will happen on your afternoon game drive. Towards the kind of the end, your driver will park up somewhere really, really picturesque. You'll get out the Jeep, kind of stretch your legs. Whilst you're having a little wander around, the driver will set up essentially a minibar on the bonnet with some snacks. They would have already taken your drink of choice order at the camp before you leave. And then they always park somewhere beautiful. So then you just watch the sunset with something in your hand. Yeah, exactly. That reflects on the day, or even the trip, our trip this evening, perhaps, where you've done a couple of different stops along the way. So what is our sundowner drink for this evening in Shenfield?
100%. It's like an old fashioned, but like unfortunately we're not going to be drinking old fashions. Like I've got cocktail all over my face at the moment. But yeah, I mean, South Africa, like you've got that picture in my head, but I can take that same premise and apply it to so many destinations around the world. And you know what it's like on that last day, and you're kind of like, don't get me wrong, in the morning when your flight's booked and you've got like 3 hours, 4, 5, 6 hours to burn, you're kind of already in, home mode, and you're thinking, oh my goodness, gotta do this. But that last evening is almost just magical in a sense, isn't it? And I would love to be, because I've been in positions where you're looking at water and the sun is coming down. And you're just kind of sitting there thinking, oh my goodness, like this is about to end. But as much as something is an end, it's also a beginning, right? So you're ending that holiday, and you've got you got your memories, in your head, you're prepared to tell, but you're probably maybe also planning your next adventure.
Absolutely. In fact, that's the key. That's what most people tend to do.
And like
they're already thinking about their next trip.
100%. And and if it's my wife, she's already like already on like TikTok going, it's here, or something like that. But it is one of these things that you do sit there and you think, oh, this is so good. Would you come back? Oh yeah, I'd come back. But like the honest reality is, you're already thinking of other destinations, but you'll come back. So the final wine of the night, I'm pouring a red. I would have liked to have poured bubbles on this, because I think at the end of it you toast yourself almost to say, what a great holiday, ding. And you look and the sun just hits that point of the horizon, and then you're smiling and thinking of all those great experiences, seeing wild animals. Oh my goodness, look at that wine bill, 20 cases coming to my head. Did you order it? No, I didn't order it.
You out of business for about a year.
I know. I mean, we had to adjust the numbers over there. Oh my goodness, what just happened? But the reality is we're looking at that. We're coming down from Kruger, the States, down onto that south coast, and that little pocket of South Africa where we started with the starting point. We went up to Stellenbosch. This little area of South Africa is the up and coming. It's been established for a while, but around Hermanus, Walker's Bay, Angeles Bay, the best, Chardonnay and Pinot Noirs are coming out of that Walker's Bay area. Like they rival some of the finest wines from Burgundy. And don't get me wrong,
Big statement. Big statement.
Yeah, the prices do reflect. I mean, a lot of these states in that little pocket, because you're only 8 kilometers in from the ocean, and they get those cooling breezes coming through. You're creating a wine that's very elegant, and that style is very Burgundian, and a lot of them have planted the Burgundian clone of Pinot Noir and Chardonnay in those regions. That's that little pocket. Move it around Angeles Bay, a little bit more better value for money. And this one here we're tasting is a Rhone blend, which weirdly enough is, you'll probably know is better known in the Swartland region, kind of moving up. That's what it's kind of based on. But we've kind of got, a bit of Shiraz Grenache and Mourvedre classic kind of Rhone blend. Not as heavy as the Group Constantia. To my mind, this is like the supple, easy choice, right? At the end of the evening, maybe you've ordered fish, but I would probably be on meat that last meal. I'd probably just be ordering. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'd probably be ordering fish and meat. Let's fool around. I just eat too much.
You're on holiday.
Yeah, I'm on holiday. I just double down on it because, but it's a style of wine that is just pleasing for everyone. It's not kind of like complex. It's not hugely in depth, etc. Yeah, a little nice one to enjoy. Not quite as heavy as numero.
I think that's my favourite actually.
So you mentioned earlier, David, where you went on safari. Can you tell us a little bit more about where you went?
Yeah, so we did our safari actually before we went to Cape Town. We flew into Joburg and then we did the hop over to Kruger, and we stayed at a property called Singita Ebony. Sorry, it's not One and Only. You didn't actually have a lodge at the time.
No, we didn't. And if you have to choose something not One and Only, Singita.
Yeah. So what makes Singita slightly different to the rest is that the land that Singita is on is private, which is very unusual compared to a lot of the other lodges. So not naming too many names, but Ulasaba, Richard Branson's lodge, he shares that land with a lot of other lodges. So that when you are viewing game, you are generally viewing game with other vehicles and lodges around. Whereas when you're with Singita, you're on a private estate. You are generally the only ones viewing the game. So
that makes such a difference.
It makes a huge difference. It's very hard to communicate that to a customer, especially when you're quoting the prices, because it has a price point to reflect that exclusivity. But if you're only doing 3 or 4 nights safari, which generally most clients do, is that fair to say? I would suggest. It's worth paying the extra for that exclusivity, I would say.
It also means that you don't get any vehicles in the background of your photos, things like that. You're not sharing it with anyone else.
Yeah, and you are aware, so I'm told, is that the drivers of the vehicles are radioing to other lodges to say, by the way, we have lions here, we have elephants here, or whatever it may be. So it doesn't quite give it the same experience.
That's the one thing
it's not quite as authentic.
Not being to South Africa, weirdly enough, we're looking to go, obviously, my next big birthday, which I think is my 40th. Fell for that. But it's more to do with the fact that's what exactly we were talking about is I would love to do safari. And I actually said the comment was that I don't want to be in a procession of vehicles.
Yeah.
And it makes such a difference.
Yeah, and I would actually I'll maybe skimp on this and cut a corner here.
Yeah.
But I'd pay the money not to be kind of like vehicle 5 of
And I would go as far as to suggest that if you were thinking of doing 3 or 4 nights that way, it'd be worth cutting back the number of nights and paying the extra to do it better.
Yeah. No, couldn't agree more.
Yeah, definitely, it was worth it, and it was a phenomenal experience. And obviously, since then, that was 2017. One and only now we now have a lodge in Africa.
Yeah.
So
we're gonna have to go for our anniversary trip maybe this time.
Yeah. And the beauty of South Africa is that there's not just Kruger as an option. There's loads of options for safari. And something new to Kerzner, which is really exciting, Did you want to tell us about that?
So from the 1st of April, we'll have Shamwari as part of our refines portfolio. And it's in the Eastern Cape, 25,000 hectares of private game viewing.
There you go.
So
Private.
that's again the whole private scenario where it's only you, there's no other safari vehicles. We've got 7 lodges on the property as well. And what's a big thing about Shamwari is also it's child friendly, which not a lot of the lodges are. So we have a whole kids program. I mean, Matt, you've been.
I have, yeah.
Did you meet Frank while you were there?
I can't remember meeting Frank, but I did go to the Born Free Foundation.
Do you not remember?
I don't remember Frank.
How did you meet Frank?
Did you not need an emotional support?
I'm quite forgetful though.
Matt was too busy talking to Frank.
Yeah, probably. But it is the most incredible place, and it was my very first time safari. And you touched on it earlier, how being in a private game reserve is so important, and it's well worth that experience because exactly that. Shamwari is exactly the same, and you do feel that exclusivity. And I think one difference versus a national park is that in a private game reserve they can drive over anything and everything to get to a viewing. So it's not the most comfortable drive in the world, but often it's worth it at the end. But everything about it, I stayed at Longley Manor, so that the plains view was incredible. Like watching, it was like an armchair safari, so you can sort of watch animals wander past. It was really good.
And there's quite a few properties, isn't there, within Shamwari? So you've got Longley, and then you've got Eagles Crag and Bertie. Yeah, and a few more. Yeah. And I guess Longley works for families because you said it was almost like an armchair safari. Yeah. So even if you didn't necessarily want to join every single game drive, or someone wanted a bit of a lie-in, maybe. Yeah, you're not closed off from it at all.
Yeah, and it's nice with Shamwari on your first game or your day with your game driver. You have dinner with them that evening, so they do a braai for you, and you get to eat with them and talk about it.
Ask lots of questions.
Yeah.
That is something that I do. I just sort of ask whatever comes to mind, and it is
Get
often
it
a very
wrong.
stupid question. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tonight was a bit of a whistle-stop tour of South Africa. So we touched on Cape Town, the Winelands, and some of the different safari areas. But there are some other places that we do just want to quickly mention to consider for your next South Africa trip.
Yeah, so I would say if you're a first-time visitor to South Africa, especially if you're going to do Cape Town, Winelands, then the garden route is a definite must. Hermanus at certain times of the year, I went and couldn't do a boat trip because of weather, but I saw whales breaching, really close to the shoreline. So it is incredible. And John mentioned there's winelands around there as well, so you can incorporate that as well. But Plettenberg Bay, and then simply drive on to Shamwari after.
It's a nice
finish.
natural lead, isn't it? And then kind of further afield, you have got the panorama route from Kruger, which takes in the Drakensberg Mountains. And also somewhere that is, I know we've said before it's on our list, is KwaZulu-Natal battlefields, a bit of history, and then pairing that really nicely with Durban. I think that would be a smashing trip one day.
I hope you really all enjoyed, and guests as well, our very first travel table and whistle stop tour through South Africa. And thank you again for being part of the very first episode.
So if you did enjoy today's episode, please do like and subscribe. We're here in the Wing Boot store in Shenfield, which is right on Shenfield High Street, right in the heart. Opposite our good friends and neighbours at Licorice over the road, where John will be happy to share any more recommendations or answer any questions that you may have on pairings from any of the wines that they sell. And of course, if there's been anything that we've spoken about this evening that has piqued your interest, whether it's for South Africa or further afield in the world, please don't hesitate to get in touch with Matt and I directly here in the shop, and we'll be more than happy to help plan your next trip. Thank you very much.